relationships. In this episode, we're going to be identifying healthy versus unhealthy relationships and how these type of relationships can impact our mental health. So if you are willing to sit back and relax and hear more, do so at this time. Y'all ready? Let's go.
You got this. Come on, girl. Yes, you are. Yes, Emily.
Hello. Welcome to Bio TV. My name is Thatch K. Silvera, also known as K, and I am the executive director and founder for the one and only Bio, beautiful inside and out. All right, so before we get into the different types of relationships, unhealthy versus healthy relationships, let's kind of break down the different types of relationships that we may have in our lives, right? So the first one is friendship relationships, family relationships, platonic relationships, romantic relationships, and work relationships. These are all examples of the types of relationships that we may have throughout our years of living, right? And so I think it's important for us to identify if these relationships are healthy and or unhealthy. And I'm hoping that towards the ending of this episode, we can get a clearer understanding on which relationship we're in today. All right, so healthy relationships involves honesty, trust, respect, and open communications between partners, and they take effort and compromise from both people. Now, unhealthy relationships involves lack of respect, lack of trust, lack of boundaries, and forms of abuse between partners with a sense of control. Now, in a second, we're going to be breaking down the levels of things that needs to have in a relationship for it to be considered healthy and unhealthy. The first one is healthy. Now, the number one thing that we all need to have in a relationship for it to be considered healthy is for us all to have honesty. Honesty. Now, honesty is the foundation for trust in a relationship. Honesty in a relationship means that you are being true to yourself. So have you ever been in a relationship where you can't lie to your friend? Have you ever been in a relationship where even though you know it's gonna break their heart, even though you know that if you are truthful, things are just gonna shift, but you just can't because you just want to better your friend? That's what honesty looks like. And so if you're in a relationship and you can't necessarily be your true self, you can't really be honest, then maybe, just maybe, you're in an unhealthy relationship. But let's keep going. The second thing that you may need in order for your relationship to be considered healthy is trust. Now, trust is important in relationship because it allows you to be more open and giving. It also motivates the relationship to thrive. Now, when you have trust in your relationship, you are being an active listener, right? You're considered someone who is supporting the relationship, the person that's in that relationship, whether it's friends, family, loved ones, work relationship, right? You're doing your best to build that trust. And when you have trust in the relationship, then you are more able to have confidence that that person is going to always have your back. Now, there may be moments in your life where you guys may have hiccups, right? But when you have a level of trust in your relationship, you are having confidence that that person is not going to let you down. And you're able to hear them out, and you guys are able to grow as partners in that relationship. Number 3, the third thing that you need to have in order for your relationship to be considered healthy is having an open communication. Open communication. Now, this is the number one thing in all relationships. Communication is the key. Now, both parties are able to share their feelings when open communication is involved. They're able to express their opinions, their expectations without feeling guilty and or ashamed. When you are able to have an open communication and able to express yourself, you're able to know what the person likes, what the person dislikes, and you're able to also understand what you shouldn't do to trigger that person, and vice versa. Open communication is important. Number 4, last but definitely not least, in order for you to have a healthy relationship, you need to have, number 4, respect. Now, why do you think respect is important? Well, respect is vital because it builds feelings for trust, safety, and well-being. So, an example of having respect in your relationship is not calling them outside of their names, right? Or belittling them, or not giving them the opportunity to be themselves, right? Not calling them out and knocking them down because of their past. There needs to be a level of respect in order for your relationship to be healthy. And so if you are here and you are watching this episode and you want to have a healthy relationship, you need to have honesty, trust, open communication, and respect. Now, according to National Health Services, NHS, people with healthy, positive, and supportive relationships are more likely to be happier and healthier. And if we could just take a step back and just remember what we just discovered, it is true, right? If you are able to have an open communication, if you're able to respect your partners, or if both parties are able to respect each other, if there are trust, if there are all these and then some, of course you guys are going to be happy, right? Because you guys are having confidence that you guys are not going to break each other's heart. You guys are feeling confident that they're a ride or die, right? You guys know those sayings, right? They're a ride or die. It's like if you have a friend, right, in a healthy relationship, you're gonna be more prone to do anything and everything for that friend because you know that you guys are able to grow with each other and you guys are more happier, right? Now, creating and maintaining good connections with others can improve mental health issues such as stress and anxieties. Now, let's go over a few things that can happen if you are not in a healthy relationship. You can have a lowered self-worth, lack of confidence, increase of self-doubt, increase feeling insecure, and decrease in motivation. Now remember, unhealthy relationship is the totally opposite of healthy relationship. And so if in healthy relationship there's respect, a level of respect and honesty, in an unhealthy relationship, it's more toxic. There's no respect there. You're feeling less than. You're feeling like no one is able to hear you out, right? There's a level of toxicity. And so what NHS or the National Health Services are saying that if you are in an unhealthy relationship, you're more prone to have your mental health negatively impacted. And so let's figure out ways on how to build a healthy relationship and improve our mental health together. The first thing that we're gonna learn today is setting and respecting boundaries. Ooh! Hey, setting and respecting boundaries. Now, I know you're probably looking at me and saying, why are you so happy about that? I think this is important because we all struggle, some, if not all, that is, struggle to set boundaries. And I can be the first one to say that was me, right? And at some point, I do still struggle with that, right? Figuring out how to create appropriate, proper boundaries for myself and for others. Now, this can take pressure off your relationship to commit to any unrealistic things when we are creating boundaries. When you have boundaries, right? You're basically giving that person an understanding of your limits, right? Your limitations. So if they cross it, you're able to say, if you cross this line, I am now being affected and I don't like that, right? The second thing is taking time for yourself. Now, what does that look like? Well, pouring back into yourself with self-care and giving yourself the opportunity to regulate your emotions. In a second, we're going to talk more about that. The third thing that we can do to build healthy relationship is letting go of control. Now that means understanding that you can control what you do and not what anyone else does to save you time and stress. The other thing that I want to talk about, which is the last point on how to build a healthy relationship, is learn from your mistakes. Learning from your mistakes. Now, by doing this, you are able to be honest with yourself. You're able to reflect, learn, and grow as a person. Now, let's break these all down. So we talked about set, respect, and boundaries, taking time for yourself, letting go of control, and learning from your mistakes. Now let's go right back to letting us respect and setting boundaries. Now, ways on doing that looks like this: self-care, verbalizing your comfort level, being able to say no and accepting when someone says no. Now, I don't know about you, but I know there were times in my life where I struggled with the word no. I struggled to say no, and sometimes I struggled when someone said no back to me, right? And so in order for us to set boundaries and to respect someone else's boundaries, we need to be able to be okay when someone tells us no. And we should be okay with saying no to someone else. Now that's a little bit uncomfortable, right? Because if you're anything like me, right? Or others in the world, you want to help. You want someone to know that you're always going to be there, right? But it's important to say no, because you saying no set boundaries for you, and it helps you to improve your mental health. The second thing is, let's take time for ourselves. Now, what does that look like? Well, taking deep breaths, exercising, doing something that gives you joy, that brings you joy and happiness, and focusing on yourself. Now, I know in a relationship, whether they're platonic, friendship, work relationships, we always want someone to lean on us. We always want to feel like we can conquer the world and solve every problem. But how many of us know that it's important to take a step back and focus on you? It's true, right? We can't always pour into everyone. Eventually it's gonna get empty. Think about a cup, a glass of water, right? If you pour that glass of water in an empty cup, eventually that cup that once had water is gonna be empty, right? And so in order for you to continue to share out water to empty cups, you're gonna have to fill it back up. And so just as it is in this example, it is with us. We are the cup, right? And everything that we are pouring into, whether it's our time, our energy, that represents our water. And so eventually we are going to have to take a step back and refill ourselves. And that's how we're gonna do so, by taking time for ourselves, pouring back into ourselves, making sure that we are okay. And sometimes we're gonna have to take a step back and ask ourselves and say, self, how are you feeling today? What do you need right now to help boost and improve your mental health? Do you need to take a rest break? Do you need to take a nap? Do you need to express your feelings to someone? What do you need? When you do those things, you're refilling yourself. And now, once you are at a level where you're able to be filled or overflow, then you're able to pour into someone else. The next thing is letting go of control. In order for you to have a healthy relationship, you gotta let go. Let it go. Isn't there a song that says, let it go, can't hold it back anymore? All right, sorry. But anyway, as the song declares, we have to let it go. Let go of control. We have to stop being pushy, right? We have to stop trying to manipulate our relationships. It doesn't work like that. There has to be a flow. It takes two to tango. And so if you are in a relationship and you want it to be healthy, you can't always have the last say. It's a partnership. And so we have to let it go. We have to learn how to delegate. And we have to learn how to be patient with the other person that's in that relationship so that it could flow and it could be considered healthy. The next thing is learning from your mistakes. Now, I don't know about you, but I have a lot of friendships and I've made a lot of mistakes. I've either said things that I'm not supposed to say or I've done things that I'm not supposed to do. And it truly had saddened the other partner. And so in that moment, I had to learn from my mistakes and I had to be apologetic, which I was. And I had to learn and understand if it should happen again, what can I do for it to not happen again? My apologies. And so the way how we can do that is asking questions, having a serious conversation with your friend, the partner that you're in the relationship in, and ask them, what can I do better to help our relationship to grow? What are some things that I can do or we can do together to ensure that our relationship is healthy? Now, the next thing is acknowledging what went wrong. Acknowledging what went wrong. Now, I don't know about you, but when I was younger, I didn't want to be seen as someone who did wrong. No, not at all. I always wanted to be right. I'm going to be honest because we're on Bio TV. We're open, honest, and transparent here. And so we're family now. So I could be honest with you. So let me be honest, okay? I was the girl who wanted to be right at all times. I wanted to have all the answers. And when I found out that I was wrong, I kind of, switched it up a little bit and still try to make it seem that I was right. That's unhealthy and that is toxic. Yeah. We need to acknowledge what went wrong and acknowledge that there are moments in your life that you will be wrong in your relationship. And when that happens, again, having open communications, having a level of respect, going back to that person that's in that relationship, communicating with them and seeing how you guys can fix it together. The next part of learning from your mistakes is healing from your mistakes. Yeah, sometimes when we make mistakes, we can impact someone's mental health negatively, right? We can leave a scar. And so we have to figure out ways to heal as an individual, but also as a group in the relationship. Now, unhealthy relationships and healthy relationships are in families, in friendships, in work relationships. And so it is our duty, it is our job to figure out how to transform, if it's possible, if you want to, of course, how to transform our unhealthy relationships to healthy relationships. And so I want us all to just take a moment and think about all the relationships that you're in, right? Whether they're friendships, romantic relationships, platonic relationships, acquaintances, whatever those relationships is. I want you to take a second and think about how it's functioning. Is there a level of respect? Is there a level of honesty? Is there a level of trust? Have you guys set boundaries? Have you guys had those conversations, those uncomfortable conversations of how to develop a stronger relationship? If you have not done so, I want to encourage you to do so. We cannot, I'm saying that one more time. We cannot find ourselves in an unhealthy relationship because it'll only impact our mental health, our emotional well-being negatively. As I already declared, the NHS already mentioned that if we are in an unhealthy relationship, it will lower our self-esteem, increase self-doubt, and stress us out, and increase a level of anxiety. We don't want that, right? And if we can bypass all of that by being in a healthy relationship or trying to find ways to transform our unhealthy relationship to healthy relationship, then why not do it, right? And so I want to challenge you, even myself, but you today, to build your relationship on healthy grounds. And if you are in a healthy relationship, kudos to you. I'm so happy for you. And I want to encourage you to continue to set those boundaries, to continue to take time for yourself, to continue to let go of control, to continue to learn from your mistakes, because that's the only way you'll be able to have healthy relationship and how your mental health can be improved and boosted. That's all that we have for today. I really do hope that you have learned at least one thing today on how to be in a healthy relationship. I'm very curious to know your thoughts about this episode and on this channel. So please don't forget or hesitate to comment down below. What do you think a healthy relationship should look like? What do you think? What is your experience in regards to having a healthy relationship? I want to know. Comment below. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Again, I'm Kay, the Executive Director of the one and only Bio Beautiful Inside and Out. And that's all we have for today. Remember, you matter. Your mental health matters. And you are Bio Beautiful Inside and Out. Take care, y'all. See ya.
Nobody girls have got an inshallah with them over. Question, but then look at the answer.